should be. We got 5 different platforms that are hooking up, but it says that we're live, and I just want to verify it. Looks like
Alive.
we're offline at the moment. Here it comes. Okay, online. Okay, we're all online. Be back with Sarah Adams in about 3 minutes and 33 seconds. We're going to play a little bit longer intro. If these shows resonate, please share. And thank you for the continued love and support and contribution as well as keep doing this by the seat of our pants every day.
Yeah.
That's not a complaint. That's just the way the 5D works. Okay, here we go. Got a little soul speak on the ascension that we all share. This unveiling, this apocalypse. You know, all this discussion of what is reality, conspiracy, heresy, truth that's stranger than fiction. Doesn't get any better than this. It's not just time to bring on the apocalypse, it's time to start riding it. It's not going to hurt us. Because one thing's for sure, in our conscious mind and even in our subconscious, if that's what you want to call it, we have always survived. And the reason for that is because we never die. So when it comes to ascension, what else is there to talk about? This ascension, unveiling, is not complicated. It's just a microcosm of the state of our being from any point, from this present moment, to any point in our past. And in regard to the past, now we can look back to see, to awaken without the element of linear time. Yeah. Because the wisdom still comes. Because the universe is never late. That means we can take from our past the powerful wisdom of the eternal moments, seen when we unveil the hurts, the blame given and received. You know, we've reached a point where forgiveness will cease to exist. Because perfection did not create forgiveness, but as a path to a higher perfection, a new reflection of itself, of ourselves. Yeah, it's true. It's just not necessary forgiveness, and neither is earth love. So we can stop chasing both right now and all the false securities and failed searches that go with the lofty goals of a moral world. Both the things that they put beyond our reach and the reasons they gave us for not being able to reach them. It's time to re-enter the fold of the immortal, the fold of the I Am soul. How's it going, everybody? We got Sarah Adams in the house. She's been on, I think, 3 times, and and from the early days, and I think maybe last year. I can't remember anything, so don't ask me.
But the linear mind is out the window. Yeah. We're gonna fly.
But you're one of the people. You're one of the people that I've met in person. Yeah, we met in person in Portland, Oregon. And it was very cool. Very cool. You're one of the few people that I've met that's taller than they look, right?
Oh, that's funny.
you're actually pretty tall. You look like you're about 5'7", 5'8". I
I'm
don't know.
like 5'8 3/4.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because most of the
Yeah.
time you meet somebody and they're a lot shorter, just like actors. Do you ever see actors like on the movies or TV, especially the
Yeah.
men? You run into them or you see them publicly and they're like 5'2.5". It's like funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Funny.
So what's happening? I know you're gonna do a song. I know that we're gonna talk about the kids. We're gonna talk about you live in
Yes.
you live in you've been in living a
Amazing.
dimensional existence for many years, and
Yeah.
you've been very open about it. You've also over the years, although I haven't seen anything lately, but I know that you've been very what would I say, forward, speaking, direct, open, honest, raw. I mean, I remember last year you put some stuff up and you're like, man, I'm done. I've
Oh
had it.
yeah.
And really,
Yeah. It's been a ride.
well, but
You know.
there's a lot of code in that. There's a lot of power in that, because it lets other people know that, hey, I'm not the only one. And this woman here's got the etheric balls to go out and put it on the line like that. I think that helps a lot of people. And I've seen a lot of other people do it. But I think
Yeah.
that it comes from watching people walk the plank like that and jump off into the.
Walk the plank into
Yeah,
the
right.
piranha fish.
Yeah. So we've
Yeah.
had you on, we've had your puppets on, which really are more than
I have a
puppets.
couple today too, in
Good.
case yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You never
So
know.
it's
Who's
always
gonna show up?
yeah, it's always a free.
Todd, did you bring my favorite dog biscuits, I hope?
I
Can you hand them to
have
the camera?
I have some oranges if you like some
Oh,
tangerines.
well, that's a close second.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's happening now? Let's talk first. Let's talk first about what was that? Did I miss
My
that one?
pig. Oh, yes, my pig. She just
What
came
was
in
it?
for a quick,
There you
hello,
go.
Todd. Oh, did you know, Todd? I got called for nudity on Facebook.
Oh wow!
That's right. She actually got called for nudity.
Did she really?
Things are supposed to be
I thought you
nudity.
said unity. You mean
No,
to tell me?
nudity.
What do you mean nudity?
Well, they interpreted her flesh as human flesh, and
Who did?
so she got Facebook. So
You
they
know what?
tagged the video and threw her off. How rude!
I just got to say something's happening.
What's happening?
There's something happening. I'm halfway through a post, and I don't write as
Okay.
much as I don't write as much as I used to, but
Oh no.
and I'm watching other people, and I'm seeing some things come to the surface, and I'm like going, I don't want to be polarized,
Right.
but I can be in the 0 point. I can be on the soul highway. I can be in the middle ground, and I can call bullshit on calling a pig, that a pig is promoting distorted sexuality. I can call bullshit on a bunch of stuff.
I
That
did. They
I'm
actually
gonna.
took it back.
Yeah.
They actually
They
said we
did.
made a mistake.
Good, good. And I think
But
that's part of what we need to do is we do need to speak up. Instead of saying, oh my God, they're coming after me, just call bullshit on them. And I got news for you. There's bullshit on both sides of the 0 point. There's bullshit with mask people and anti-mask people. There's
yeah,
bullshit with vax people and anti-vax. Vegans and meat eaters. There's bullshit anywhere that we're not including everybody.
totally.
And I'm getting fed up with it. So there's never a coincidence. I'm glad they let the pig come back on. I hate to call it that name because I know it's got there's an energy.
It's okay. We're all right with it.
There's a consciousness behind it. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you first, though,
Yeah.
before I go off into a rage or a
I
tirade.
want to do my song now. We want to keep it
you want
high
to do
vibe.
it? You want to do it? No, we're going to be high vibe. No,
Okay.
you want to do your song? Let's do this first. I want to
Okay.
ask you. I want to ask you what's been going on. Like I
Well,
know you well enough, and you've shared with us. You're connected. Everybody has been subjected, for the most part, to some intense, very clear, powerful intel. It's at some level, it's all metaphoric, so it doesn't always line up. Sometimes the stuff comes in so strong, it challenges our ego. It challenges our belief system because it lays down a belief so hard that we won't move off of it. We can over identify with the essences that we connect to, and there's all these different things. But people like you that have been through this for a long time, I think, have a higher propensity to be balanced in terms of a well thought,
Yeah.
or more well thought because you've had more experience with a comment or a summary. What do you think's been going on? Let's just keep it to
Yeah.
2020. How have you done? What do you think's going on? And specifically the month of August as we go into September.
Well, yeah. So for me, as you know, like every show we've done, we talk about the solar feminine in the underworld. We talk about the financial challenges. We talk about like when is the rubber going to meet the road? And for me, right, I've been like trying to find a way into this reality for 37 years. And the end of July, my on ramp into this reality opened up, and I'm now teaching and loving it. I'm making money. I'm having incredible joy. I'm soaring through these frequencies that rise above the chaos. And it's just, oh, it
Okay.
feels so good.
All
It
right. So
just feels so good.
you're actually
I'm in it.
you're repeating something that I've heard in it, and I think there was something I would say June 1st, like something changed this summer. We'll just say this summer.
It happened,
Uh,
yeah, the freedom
yeah,
codes in July and
yeah,
the so these three eclipses, right?
right.
The first
That's
one
right.
was like June 1st or whatever. The second one was
That's right.
June 23rd with the solstice. So the game changers of these three eclipses brought in a power pack supportive architecture for those of us that have been in the underworld for 37 years are now getting platforms for incarnating and interfacing with this reality to resurrect it. It's our time. Like I got dubbed a flight school captain. My higher self gave me this commander thing, like officer and a gentleman, and said, "You are going to teach people. You're going to entrain people to be living in joy and how to cultivate this joy in every moment, how to partner with the divine mother energy to heal these vertical channels that have been offline for 20 million years. They came online the end of July. So we can fly now. It's like if we get out of the polarity, like if we're in the polarity and the judgment, we're not flying. But if we open the door to the possibility and the wonder and the beauty and to nature, we will literally be uplifted into a whole new ascending spiral. So
Yeah.
it's incredible the availability of this wind, and that's my song. It's a super short song. It's all improv, but it's like riding the wings of joy. My class is called Riding the Wings of Joy.
Mhm.
At the end of July, this like rainbow phoenix bird, this way I have my rainbow scarf. This rainbow phoenix bird just like flies, energetic bird, not in real life, flies right in front of me and says, "Grab a hold of my tail feathers and hang on." And that was it. I held on to the tail feathers and I started rising in the ascending spiral. And I was told, this is it. You're going to teach people how to do this, how to
Right.
catch this rising current in every now moment
Right.
and just live in that dynamic joy. And a lot of it is in my class, we're learning that. But I'm also going to be doing that with children who just want to be creating prescriptions for the highest bliss in every now moment through
Right.
art, through music, through nature, through song, through whatever, through cooking, whatever it is, we connect to the energy signature of the now moment. And we're like, okay, my heart wants to go play in the pool right now. My heart wants to bake a banana bread right now. My heart wants to listen to Jefferson Starship and dance with my rainbow scarves. So we're literally listening for the now moment to inform us, like right now, the now moment wants this scarf. There we
Here we
go.
go. So
So it's this, yeah, it's incredible.
this is good. And I think a lot of people would look at a transmission like this coming out of you and they go, okay, how does that work? So, and I know you, and we talked about this a minute ago. I mentioned it a minute ago. I know the divine human you are. I know because I've seen you put it out there in your what you might call your worst moments and your
Oh,
best moments.
yeah, the
And
level of the shadow,
but
yeah,
this is what I'm getting at. So when you talk about catching the wings, right? When you talk
yeah,
about catching and taking a ride, that's obviously a dimensional experience that you've had that has a metaphoric translation in that universal language. This is what people are looking for. How do they do that? What does that feel like?
yeah,
How did you come from? I remember you last year going, we don't have a place to live. We need to do this. We need to do that. I need to make some money. A lot of people were going through that. I agree with you that something happened this summer. I personally think that we started to be reciprocated in a huge way after kind of being in suspended animation, and our abundance, so to speak, had to be delayed in because the collective awareness had to reach a certain level. Now I think we're being rewarded for that, and I also think that there is an immediate reciprocation on the efforts that we make in the present moment, such as you're doing now. But I guess what I want to end up with and conclude with and ask you, what does it feel like? I mean, so many people have so
oh,
many people over the years, and I'm not knocking
so
anybody, I'm just laying it
good.
out there, have got out there and go, okay, do this, do that, and everything's cool. I never get triggered. Everything's just always hunky dory. It's
No,
all
that's
fluffy, love,
not
and light.
it.
That's right. So I'm asking you because I can tell you're lit. I know
Yeah,
you. I've known you. You're lit. And how do you go from that space that we all know so well, which is why isn't this working? Why isn't the infinity sign lit up, and running smoothly? Why is there a bump in the road? What am I missing? Where are my blind spots? These are things that we can all understand, but
yeah.
now people are starting to manifest in their walking, living examples. How does that feel? How did you get there? And fill in the blanks.
Okay, so for one thing, we have to honor exactly where we are in every moment. If I look at things, I don't feel like I did anything. The supportive architecture that is connecting me to my divine blueprint and all the work I'd done before that moment enabled me to make a quantum jump in my timeline. And so if you ask me like what did I do? It's like it's just life unfolding. But we're all unfolding into this greater availability for joy. And even the polarity is cleansing the system. The anger, the rage, the pain, the corona. Should I not say that? Sometimes things get taken down.
You can say coronavirus,
Yeah,
coronavirus.
the coronavirus.
Yeah,
Like to me, really the coronavirus back when it was coming to the planet, which was November 2019, I felt the earth grab and all humanity grab the coronavirus as
yeah,
the contract that would birth the new earth. I
yeah.
saw through my body this freaking planet. My whole body became filled with this huge planet as we pulled the coronavirus. So the coronavirus was the moment we pulled it in, was the conception
Yeah.
of the healing of the light and sound barrier. And that's what healed in July. When the light and sound barrier, this full body condom that has prevented light from penetrating sound because of the damage they did 20 million years ago in ancient Lyra, they ruined this ability to conceive light and sound. Light and sound together are the ascending frequencies of Divine Mother, Divine Father, the Christos. So I
Let's
feel
go.
that the
Yeah,
coronavirus took everyone into this focus on life and death,
yeah,
on the heart, on oneness, on family, on every moment could be my last.
yeah,
Everybody's focusing, and the virus itself, sorry for my microphone, the virus itself holds this code of unity love.
yeah.
It's a higher heart upgrade. So this virus has been the number one quickening of the Christos coming
I
to the
believe
earth.
I'm
Hands
totally.
down.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is,
totally with you. And I
yeah,
think I think too. When we use the term the virus, and we can use whatever name we want, uh, we might think literal terms. We might think about a contagion that has a physicality that germs, that jumps from one person to another through germs. I think what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, which we're talking about a consciousness.
It's a
We're
consciousness.
talking about an externalization of all of us. We're talking about something that we all created. We're talking about an energy. We're not talking about a literal virus, because that consciousness that you're speaking of and so well explained so well is far, far bigger. Like, we're talking like exponentially millions of times bigger than the physical virus itself.
Absolutely. It has a super high frequency, higher heart upgrade energy. That's why the people that die from it, the few people that actually die from it, are the people who can't go into the unity frequency. And it's just too much to make that upgrade, right? So
Yeah.
and the information of the unity frequency, whether you contract the virus physically or not, the whole earth grid is being flooded with
Yeah.
the higher heart upgrade. We're all getting it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. And
So,
yeah, I mean, at a human level, it looks totally different, right? I mean, because there's so
well,
many,
yeah, no, it's
but
the massive enema. When you bring in clear light
I
like that,
love it.
the shit is gonna fly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and just because I have like now access to these wind, you might call them wind currents of ascending
Hmm.
love. I have access to them now, but I still go through and cleanse out.
I know.
I have to get the
I
plane
know.
flying better and
Yeah.
better. It goes into nosedive and I have to analyze. Oh, I judged someone, nosedive.
That's right.
Oh, I identified with someone rejecting me, nosedive. So I have to go back. Self love. Let's get the plane back. Let's get the inner child in the pilot seat, between the masculine's legs. The inner child's right there. The cognitive is right here. And it's like, okay, everybody's loved, everybody's connected. We love you. You're connected to the earth. The inner child has to feel that she's cherished to be
Right
able
on.
to ride that wind current. You can't, if the child has any sense of not being loved in the self, in the community of self, nosedive. You're not even and if the cognitive is busy judging or arguing or worrying,
Yeah.
nosedive. You're not available. So you have to walk out into the garden like I do it in the natural world. That's the first place I felt it. I started saying, I am fully supported to, I am fully connected to and supported by the living matrix.
Yeah.
I said that every single day for like 5 days for 2 minutes, and boom, the whole thing opened. And I had availability to that current. Because if you think about it, our divine mother, this is the color of her portal. So it's cool I'm wearing it. Our Divine Mother, that is the 13th ray, the Mother Arc, wants the greatest life for us. She joins with us and partners with us to bring forth the heroic probability of our bliss in every moment. That is what she desires. So if you go into the architecture that she brings, you're going to be feeling incredible. All your heart's desires are
Yeah.
literally going to start unfolding one by one. And then you may hit a glitch. Oh, rejection, pain, fear. And you got to go through the glitch, right? You got to go to the machine and find out what's in the flight engine. It went down. We don't have access to Divine Mother anymore. Now we're in a dark night of the soul. Now we're completely changed coordinates. So you have to go into the engine and be like tweaking it with your wrench. Let's see which belief system is blowing out, is screwing up my
Yeah.
architecture. And so you
Yeah.
go and you process
What do
it,
I got to
and
let
then
go
you're
of now?
fine again.
Well,
It-
it's so interesting. I am obviously coming out of a 2 or 3 day period of serious leveling up. Which now, when we level up, it's the
Totally.
multidimensionality. The multidimensionality comes into play even more because you have met in several streams leveling up.
Yep,
So,
yep.
trying to just make something of this, it's so interesting because people talked about the Great Divide for a long time, and that
Hmm.
impression of, oh, the awake ones are over here and the unawake ones are over here. or whatever categories. But there's these parallels playing out that are very interesting. They are proof that the 0 point contains both ends of the spectrum, such
Yes.
as you've got people who are, and I'm not going to say people, could be any of us, think we know something. We don't know nothing.
That's
You know
good
what I
to
mean?
not
I mean,
think
now
that.
what you're talking about, I'm not referring to that. I'm not referring to
Yeah.
what I'm actually, because what you're doing is you're actually explaining through your experience what's going on in what is
Yeah.
mostly a universal metaphorical language. What I'm talking about is I see people on one hand, myself included, I know what this is all about. I know this and I know that about this particular subject, the virus, mass, vaccines being one, Trump Q being another. Uh, and then on the other end of it, you have, I don't know anything. I
Yeah.
don't
Attachment.
know anything. And I love what you're saying
Yeah.
because you're saying, I get this huge download. I grab this thing. I'm on the wings. I'm flying. I'm soaring. Abundance is coming in. My life is being reciprocated for my past efforts and my present efforts. And then,
Woohoo!
I go have a nice breakfast. I meditate. I walk in the forest. I come back in the door. I, I open up social media and I get triggered and I lose and I fall out of 13th the
Yeah.
13th ray. And now I'm
Yeah.
back at the human level and I'm doing the maintenance on the engine, on the plane, and I'm
Yep.
getting back to the mother. I love this. This is the real stuff, you
This
know?
is it. I mean, this is what we're doing. And it's like, with all that's going on, it's hard to see it, but I have trouble breathing even thinking about it. There's so much pain in the field right now, and there's so much duality, and it's hard to breathe it all in.
Yeah.
It's hard as the divine mother, that we are in our 0 point. It's hard. Like I start to stop breathing because there's part of me that's like, no, that's too much pain. I won't breathe through that. No, that's too much polarity. I can't breathe through that. But the truth is, God has allowed the outpressing of everything that's happening, and we are God. So we have to just go into the I am presence, take the deep breath, and put our arms around the entire thing and let it be exactly what it is. And then go cultivate joy. Because if you focus on the polarity, you're wasting all of these high currents that
Hmm.
are just waiting for you to catch them. And Divine Mother's sad because you're not fulfilling her heroic probability for your joy. So it's a total disappointment. When you go feed the negative aliens, Divine Mother's like, oh, darn, where is she? She's not in my garden. She's over there eating that shit in that dark room. No, 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 no. And so I don't focus on any polarity. None. I do not read. If you look at my wall, nobody in polarity is on my wall, and I haven't unfriended them. It's just that I live in a unity frequency, and so that's all that ends up on my wall. Go to
But
my
when
wall.
when you like you said, when you judge someone,
Yeah, nosedive.
yeah, when you go into a nosedive, it's a result of being in a polarity.
Absolutely.
It's a result of so
You can't
and yeah,
fly
and
when you're judging.
yeah,
You're in the underworld. It doesn't. No,
yeah.
I will tell you, you cannot fly when you're judging. You become one of these in the mud. When you judge, oh, that's her butthole. So let's find the right side. But that's apropos. The butthole of a caterpillar is judgment.
Oh my God, you're funny.
I am
You're so funny.
patient with becoming a
This is a
butterfly.
real deal. Here we've got somebody 37 years
In the
who
underworld,
yeah, but
basically.
I mean, well, you've been getting downloads for at least 37 years.
Yep,
You've been playing in dimension for 37 years,
yep.
and here you are, playful, childlike, um, on an
There's
open
no
wall.
other way to be.
I
That's
mean,
the
you're
place.
sitting here. Yeah, I know you have the puppets because you do a lot of work with the kids, but at the same time butthole comes out of your mouth, and it all just fits together. And this is what I'm talking about, the
It
polarities.
fits.
This is what I'm talking about. There could be some people, or I'm not going to say people, but a school of thought that, oh my God, from a level of piousness, who might say, oh my God, she shouldn't say that. She shouldn't use that language. He shouldn't use that language. And yet you can bring both to the table. You can bring this childlike wonder to the table and this raw, real, hey, I've been through the same human shitstorm all of you have, and we can meet in the middle. And it can still be pure, right?
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like you do the tour of duty in really dense duality for long enough, and your whole entire consciousness just gets done. It's done with polarity. It's like bread, it molds. You look at the bread, and on some date, it's going to mold. Well, duality and attachment to duality and interest in duality actually has a shelf life. And for me, that was the end of July. It was over. I'm done. I don't choose that room. I don't choose to go into that room. I don't choose to feed anything that doesn't feel good. It's so simple. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah.
Period. It's just that a kindergartner can understand, right? Yeah. When I gather with my children and we meet and I say, okay, guys, what is your highest heart's desire right now? What do you want to do? Yeah. I'm not saying, let's focus on learning and understanding what might be our heart's desire, and let's find out the right way to go. And no, I'm saying, what does your heart want to do? You want to make banana bread and listen to a Spotify song? Do you want to go dance with rainbow scarves and sit and look for frogs in the creek afterwards? Do you want to, and everybody gets their heroic probability. Yeah. Everybody gets to follow. All I have to do is have the raw materials for joy and creativity and beauty all around. And then the kids get to look at me and say, I want to do this. And then my job is to uplift them and give them everything they need to have their highest joy. That I play the role of Divine Mother. That's what she wants to do with us. But if we're in the mind field of polarity, guess what? She can't even reach us. No. We can't even play the game. We're not, there's nothing there that's available to play the game. And at the end of July, my attachment to suffering, my attachment to polarity just ended. Yeah. And as it ended, this beautiful spiraling came in. It's hard to say what happened first. It all happened together. One thing was ending and one thing was coming online.
Yeah.
And I just had to witness it. I didn't do it. This is not happening at an effort.
I wonder, because this is one of the things that I'm dealing with, and I see other people doing it. Sue Baxter-Fitz just made this comment too, so I'm going to use that as a backdrop. Yeah. So, no polarity for me either. I just don't entertain it at all. My sons are beginning to get the picture. No BLM, no Trump,
none of
no
it.
COVID. I stay and enjoy as much as I can. Now, this is where I'm going with the question. So, you have this thing where I start to realize I can't watch police brutality videos.
Oh no, you're not supposed to.
Watch. Yeah. I can't listen to certain things. I can't read. I can.
No.
I can, but here's the problem. As long as I keep doing it, it keeps showing up. I keep getting charged. There's nobody that can tell me they can't watch the video I just saw of 2 Australian police officers walking in a lady's house and arresting her pregnant and putting her in handcuffs for asking people to peacefully demonstrate, and I read the post, peacefully demonstrate this Saturday in Melbourne. Now, it's a conundrum. How do you...
You want my answer?
I want to get to that. So how do you support with empathy energetically and extract yourself at the same time? It's almost like the polarity of don't look that way on one end, and on the other end get totally absorbed in it. There's got to be a space in between where each side of that 0 point gets equal time.
Okay, so the faster that humanity steps into the unity, everything ends in the game. Everything. The greatest support that you can give to the game ending is to stand in your joy and to be in your love. And from that place of your love, you send it into all of creation. You're not separate from creation. You are sending that. All of creation is being uplifted because you are an open portal back to what's true.
Yeah.
And the more of us that are a living open portal to our divine blueprint as connected, loving, unified rapture and love for everything on earth, the faster the dream dissolves.
Would you say, and here's a good point too, by the way, Diane Richards, yes, I saw that. I thought it was a put on. I did too, because controlled opposition is a reality. False, propaganda is propaganda.
Oh yeah, they actually seed those crowds with people that are going to create more polarity.
Now, my question to you is: it sounds like what you're telling me, and I don't want to have an escalating question.
Yeah.
We don't have to explain our position to anybody. We don't have to talk about any of these issues in our day-to-day, moment-by-moment interactions. What you're saying is you can reach that unity consciousness between you and the universe in silence, whatever, in privacy, and shut the door and go about your business. And that's, in essence, the best thing you can do. The most effective thing you can do.
That's the absolutely most effective thing that I can do, because I'm bridging portals into New Earth.
Yeah.
So that New Earth energy is actually meeting the Earth. And so the old Earth is migrating into the New Earth. So if I can be a portal that draws down that map for more and more souls to be those beacons of light, then everyone who's lost in polarity is supported to come home much faster. And everyone who's not meant to go on the ascension timeline just drops off.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the systems of the negative aliens and the Draco and the satanic ritual abuse, we're in for massive disclosure. We're going to have to look at that. Like when Mel Gibson went public and talked about the horrors. These are things that mass humanity is going to be looking at. But so it's kind of like, okay, another metaphor I think that's really good is that humanity is in labor and delivery, right? We're in, including me, including everyone on this planet, we are having a baby. The mass of human consciousness doesn't realize that there's a baby on the other side. Mm-hmm. They just feel like it's the dark night that never ends and we're all going to hell in a handbasket. Now, those of us that are standing in the sweet frequencies, held in this incredible love, we're the ones that stand there while they're in the hospital, in this labor, and we say, there's a baby. Come towards my shore. You're going towards something. You're not just in a wormhole of hell that never ends. There's a baby. There's a shining sun. There's a dawn. There's a new earth so beautiful that you're coming into, right? We're there to stand as the welcoming, so that this person doesn't think I just have terminal hell in my belly. I've got some terminal fucking cancer and I'm going to die. Like in Phenomena, one of the most beautiful movies, Phenomenon, with John Travolta. I was so pissed because he was getting all these incredible divine blueprint awakenings. And I was crying. My DNA was stretching while I watched it. And then they turned it into a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Well, this is not a brain tumor. This is a baby. This is a potential for a universe of such benevolence and such beauty and such freedom that can give them the courage to go through the darker stuff, right? Because they know there's a baby. Imagine a woman in labor who just thinks Labor's for nothing. We're just going to die at the end of it. No, there's a baby. And what a beautiful baby it is. And how do I know? Because I'm living it.
I
And
think it's
people have different roles. Some people are inside the polarity and they need to be there.
yeah.
They have polarity within them that's getting triggered to heal. So that's where they need to be. I've been in it for 37 years in the underworld. I don't have interest in that level. I don't have those levels of polarity. I'm ready to fly, right? It's like, no, if you give me the opportunity to fly or go into the underworld, flight. That's it. My inner child is like, would be suicidal if I watched those videos.
Yeah.
I need to keep my inner child alive. She is the magic. She is the promise of the new day. She holds the architecture of the new earth. She is my priority. I will not feed her poison. I will not.
I think, and I think, the reason that I bring it up is because I think, for me, and I got to believe that we've all been through the same stuff. This level of, programming, the imprint
Oh, yeah.
is so subtle that we think we can go play in the mud and step out of that pool of mud and go out on a date thinking
And not be affected, right?
and like we're like totally clean, don't need to shower. I mean, it's so subtle, and it's also so alluring. Because regardless, this realm would not have worked without the sensationalism, right? Without the sexy sell, the National Enquirer type of, you know what I mean? I mean, people love the juicy stuff, and
But
it's
that's
just,
only a phase,
I
Todd.
know, I know, I know. I'm just saying that
People go
it's
beyond that. Thank
absolutely,
God.
absolutely. I'm just saying that I think that it's a good thing to talk about it in the sense of, hey, none of us has a bearing on this to the nth degree. None of us do. We can get to a point where we can do what you're saying. Put the priority on the gift that we're discovering and may not know as much about and may not be as used to, and de-emphasize our old patterns and behaviors and give it up to the fact that we have been basically hypnotized, and we're coming out of this amnesia, and part of that coming out is realizing how much power we gave away, therefore how much power these things had over us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all mind control programming and separation consciousness. It's victimizer programming that was put into our DNA. It's enemy patterning that was put into our mitochondria. I mean, this is all causal negative alien invasion stuff. The whole of humanity is
I want
acting
to ask
out.
you about that. I want to ask you about that
Yeah.
because I personally don't feel that anything is left out of this universe. I've had visits from reptilians, even going back to before I
They're
met
not
Mo.
left out. They're playing a
No, no.
role.
Yes, exactly. And this is what I wanted to ask you. What I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you was, I know that you follow Lisa Renee,
Yes.
and I remember. I, like many people, have gone to ascensionglossary.com many times. Times when I purposely went, and times when I, got a download on the way to the airport with Morgan and said, I just saw Jesus. He was a starseed in blue. And I typed in such and such, and the next thing I know, I'm in Ascension Glossary reading about Jesus as a Syrian. Uh,
Yeah.
so what I'm trying to say is, sometimes, and I'm really looking for answers here, or at
Yeah.
least have a
Totally.
conversation. I went back to that site recently, and I'm not picking on Lisa Renee because we all know she's contributed a hell of a lot, just like the David Ikes and many other people.
Yeah.
But there still seems to be a lot of polarization, and maybe I'm just picking up on it now more because I've expanded. I got to believe everybody's expanding, which also brings me to a point where, you know what, the truth is what it is today. And we need this information to get to another point. But how after all this time and with your familiarity with her work and I'm only using this as an example again. I'm not picking on her at all because I have total respect for her.
Yeah,
But
yeah, she's
how much?
amazing.
Absolutely, she is, and she's courageous as hell.
She's
Uh,
very courageous.
how much attention do we need to be giving to the narratives of any sort anymore?
None. Ever since the joy came, I don't focus on it one bit,
Okay.
not 1 ounce. If it's going to help somebody who comes to me, I'll show them that part of the glossary. But I don't go there. I don't. I had to. My intellect, right, it can be addicted to knowledge, to
Yes.
knowing exactly what happened, and that's not part of joy.
Yeah.
That's not, you gotta just drop it. Who the heck cares
Right.
how it got so screwed up
Right.
anymore? You just, now it's like, okay, so
I
do
like
you
that.
want to take the flight or not? Here's the airplane, it's landing, and it's saying hop on. You
Does
can't
it
go there if your intellect is
now?
dominant.
Now, does that include? Does that include? And again, I'm just trying to
No,
cultivate
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
conversation that will
Totally
open the
fine.
code in all of us. Does that include our own stories? Now we know it includes our traumas and our history from this incarnation, and maybe even from our previous incarnations, and maybe even from our ancestral lineage. But does it matter anymore who woke us up? That Jesus came to me in the trees, or a star family landed in my backyard, or whatever it is, or I was so and so in a past life, or I have this particular bit of wisdom. Does it apply to that also? Are we being
Yeah.
are we being forced or flowed into the present by any and all means necessary?
Okay, big, it's a big question. So if it feeds any kind of negative ego that says I'm special because of this, it's got to go. That's, you can't fly if you have arrogance. If you even think you exist, you
Hmm.
can't fly.
Yeah.
If you think you're doing anything or you did anything or you can't, you're, that's negative ego. I mean, so what do in the moment? Like when I open up a healing session container, I say, what serves the heroic probability of the greatest healing for this person? And I just open up. I don't care who comes in. I'm like, come in to help us. Anyone out there? I don't know what their names are. Things come in that are green, things come in that are purple. I start chanting toning. I don't know what I'm toning. It's the intention. I
That's right.
want to collaborate with that which is going to bring relief. And that's
Yes.
all I care about. I don't care what their name is. I don't care what planet they're on. If my person wants to know their soul lineage, I might ask for a specific star family that is connected to them to come through. But that's serving them in that moment. So it's
Yeah.
all
Cool.
about what is serving the greatest good in every moment. So
Yeah.
you can't be attached for the sake of information itself. You have
Yeah.
to, how does it serve the beauty and the uplift of this person?
Yeah.
That's the
It's
only,
it's
I
it's
never consult anything unless I'm thinking, how does it serve the
but I
healing?
yeah, and I mean from like anybody's point of view. I mean like because it's moved so fast. Because what you're saying is very true. If I come to you and you connect and you say, "Hey, uh, I got to tell you this. In the 1700s, you were so and so, and this is what you did." Well, I understand that the reason that's being conveyed to me in that moment is because there's some type of code being restored within me, some memory coming back to me, which is going to be
Yep.
there's a direct
Yep.
consequence. I'm going to have a higher level of awareness, expansion, skills, and abilities, and so on.
Yeah. You need it
Yeah,
in
and so
that
you
moment.
have
It
like,
serves.
so I really like this because and Morgan talks about this, where once it's done, because we've had some crazy things happen to us, I mean,
Oh
we've
my
talked about this,
Lord. I'm
but once,
still processing being buried alive in Egypt. I've been working on it since 1998,
but
every night.
the thing, once it comes in,
Yeah.
you let it go. You
Oh, yeah.
take it in and you let
Let
it
it
go.
go.
Yeah, good,
Totally. Back
good,
to
bad,
zero
and
point.
different. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? Yeah,
Yeah, back to zero point, right?
yeah,
And back to the music. I mean, for me, it's all about the music. I go into Spotify, and it's like a kaleidoscope of beautiful music, and I just go, ooh, right now, this song is the one that I fly on. And the next second, it's like, or next 3 minutes, it's like, it's this song now. I go out to the pool and just lay on my raft, look up at the trees,
I saw those pictures the
feel
other
the
day.
music.
I thought I was looking at a what do you call it? A centerfold in Cosmopolitan magazine.
You're hilarious.
Yes, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
my rolls of fat with menopause. I'm just like, what the hell? You
Right,
know.
right on. Um, okay, so this is good. So, like, because I know in talking with you, and I know because I just know we know these things when we can see them. This isn't about seeing with the eyes, and you've had multi connections, and that's not always been an easy thing because it challenges your sanity.
Good
It
Lord.
becomes a
That's an
question of
understatement.
sanity. Yeah, it becomes a question of sanity from those that love you. I know you've been through the grind. And I guess what I'm trying to say is and I've known you for I think about 3 years.
Yeah,
And
2018 October.
watching people
3 years.
evolve is so amazing to me. And to
Mm.
see you coming out, retaining the soul characteristics of your soul, the playfulness, the child like wonder, and all that other stuff, and being a square peg trying to fit into a world of a round hole. And now this change has occurred, and you've come out. You're balancing, not by your words, just by your energy, with everything you described with the.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting because so before it was like my inner child was like, all I want is joy, pure bliss. And then my cognitive was like, I want to make money. I want to be a teacher. I want to be respected. And then the divine mother was like, I've got to have my essence in consciousness. And those three things never met. They
Yeah,
never met. There was no way to get it all on the same page. So I wandered in this disorientation, occupying different dimensions for different parts of self on the way to the kitchen. And then I'd go to the grocery store and I'd be occupying a different dimension. And I'm like, it felt crazy. In the end of July, everything came together. And
yeah,
that's because the cosmic divine mother came in through the Sophianic shield right around July 17th. And the Christos, the 11th dimensional Christos, which is the most incredible kaleidoscope of multidimensional bliss. It's 144. The soul monad, it's like a clock. If you look at a clock, there's like the 12 places that the hand goes, right?
yeah, yeah.
We have 12 souls in every one of those positions. So the monad has 144. And when the 11th dimensional Christos came online, that night I dreamt. I dreamt of every identity where I've ever occupied my divine blueprint. So it was like 144 flavors of wonderful. It
Yeah.
was incredible. And then 5 days later, no, not five, June 23rd, about 2 weeks later, the cosmic mother came in. I'm just saying, how can it get any better? The
Yeah.
cosmic mother comes in, the Christos is here. So the Christos allows the cognitive to fly the plane, right? The divine mother holds the inner child with this incredible love, incredible love. So she comes out of the rejection, the feeling of disconnect, which
Right.
I had 37 years of disconnect. Like,
You call
where
it
do
the
I
you call
belong in
it
this world?
you call it the underworld.
Yeah, it was the underworld. It's the
You call
solar feminine, Persephone wandering in the underworld. Where is my family? Where is my life? Where
Mm,
is my connection to this dimension? And
yeah.
so the divine mother came
Do
and
you feel like
held Persephone and lifted
yeah,
her. The masculine put her between his legs in the cockpit and said, your joy is guiding us. So all of a sudden, the inner child's joy is at the center of what's being needed. So she feels loved. The cognitive's working with her. The divine mother's there. All three of them are together. We're
mhm,
flying. That's
yeah,
what happened.
very cool. Very cool description. And I
Yeah.
know that you, like many of your sisters, primarily, and I know there's men out there too, but so many of these women like you stepping up now more than ever, been doing this a long, long time. There are many characteristics that are common to all of them. One of them being, I never felt like I fit in here. I'm
Oh
not from
God.
here. I want to
Oh
leave. I've
God.
had it. Suicide attempts, psych ward visits,
Yeah,
incarcerations,
because we're
family
holding the
estrangement.
potential for that grid all that time. We're waiting for the mother to
Right.
come back.
But
The whole
now,
time.
let me ask you, on behalf of you and your sisters, and
Yeah.
actually any and all souls that are part of that particular line of support, how does it feel now? Do you want to leave? Would
No,
you even
I'm
consider?
excited. Every day holds this, every moment holds this potential for a new joy experience, a new partnership, deepening my partnership with divinity so that joy only gets greater and greater and greater. So I live in the anticipation, like I have trouble breathing. I have panic attacks. I'm still suffocating. I still have death spell architecture in my solar plexus. All of that is still there. But the joy, the possibility to wake up in another moment and have a deeper communion with
Yeah,
divine love, or to look into your eyes again, Todd, like when we're together and see you in the physical and go, I love you, Todd, and see you with more of my eyes, feel you with more of my heart, and to go to a festival when we can touch and hug and hold each other again, and to see my beloveds all on the land coming towards me and just run into their arms. There's so much beauty coming. It's like we're going to be moving to the land, to land-based community, so
yeah,
that we can all become these cells out pressing in the body of unity and feel the instruction sets of unity and
yeah.
begin to live those with nature in this interactive tantric dance of magnifying everything
Yeah,
fit.
you are on a roll.
How would I want to die?
I don't
This
know
is
what you're, I
just
don't know,
getting good. No, but this is just getting
I
good. I
don't know
feel like
what
I'm
you're,
going to
I
die
don't
every
know,
day, but I don't want to die.
I don't know. Hey, I'm with you. I don't know what your song is,
I want to live.
but based on that last 45 seconds of that free flow, freestyle,
I got my
verbal, lyrical, you could write a sexy song based on the energy from that last. Even
Yeah,
Adam said an interactive tantric dance. Sleepers
well,
are warm.
it is. I mean, that's what I keep saying it, but I love that word heroic probability.
Hmm,
The heroic probability for us as a human race is to be cells in one body of unity,
yeah,
where the heart is the conductor of the symphony, and every single person's highest wish is fulfilled as they fulfill the wish of the whole,
yeah.
to be the highest it can be. That's the name of the game. That's what we're shooting for here.
Right on.
And the architectures are coming in. We know in December there's going to be a massive die-off of the
Yeah,
death-coded architecture. It's only going to get better. It's blossoming. There's a lot of letting go. There's a lot of death and fear and pain. Every day I think I'm going to die because I have my panic attacks. My inner child is still like, what the fuck am I doing? Because the mother grid is not quite in here. It's in here enough for me to feel the joy,
uh,
but it's not in here enough to make the fear go away. So I just have to go through it and keep reaching for the joy again and again. So this is really short. I just kind of made it up. Riding the wings of joy for every girl and every boy and every gender fluid being too. We're riding above the clouds, spiraling evermore into joy. Riding, riding, riding that beautiful wind, that wind that calls our name. Just answer the call of that rising wind, and you will never never be the same. Once you've tasted the joy of the beauty rising, you'll never, ever want to look away. Just want to stand at the dawn and tell the whole world to come along so we can fly wingtip to wingtip. We are the greatest resource as we love each other, as we come together, a sister and brother in the great body of love rising now. We are all part of this beautiful game. Every one of us called by name into this beautiful field of the dance of love, here on earth as in the stars above. So come on now, fly with me. Don't you feel the beauty, the intimacy, the tantric dance, the great love affair that calls your name in the sweetest air. Come home, come in and join the dance. Just look away from that night. Don't you see the beautiful light? Oh, it needs you, it needs your love, it needs the very beauty you bring to make the earth's song sing. You and I, we were born to fly. We're going home now. So much is dying off so that we can fly. Oh, I love you, beautiful family. It's so much sweetness calling us home into, calling us home. Through the tears and the pain, through the horror and the terror and the polarity, it's all calling us home into the dawn. So I'll wait for you right in the heart. That's the place where it all can start. We will usher in this brand new day. Together as we will bring the rising of the sun.
Far out.
I made it up. I know I
Yeah,
did.
that's far out, man.
I
That was
made it.
very good.
I had 3 chords to play with, so it's not.
Yeah, but
I'm
still,
just feeling that,
that was
sending
very
that
good.
out.
Very good.
Whew, sending that out, right? This invocation to the dance of joy,
Right on. Right on.
to this beauty. Oh my God, my battery's like, holy
So
crap!
can
Plug in my battery side. Hold on
so
one second.
okay.
Hold on one second, honey.
We're going to be back in 51 minutes with Alina Sanchez. And then tonight, in 4 hours and 20 minutes, we're going to have Navigating the 5D
Oh,
Frequency.
good. Okay. Wait. Hold on.
You good?
On.
You're right there, darling? I hate for you to go through all that trouble because we're signing off. But that's okay. That's okay. Tell us before we get out of here how to where can we find
life support.
Oh, sorry, you couldn't hear.
Like. We're trying to bring this good online.
Yeah,
and life support.
Yeah, I want to make sure before we get out of here, you let people know what you're working on, where they can find you, and all that stuff. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm teaching a class called Riding the Wings of Joy. And I love teaching this class. The next one starts October 23rd. It's an 8-week immersion into exploring the prescriptions for bliss and how we become available to that loving Divine Mother and that Christos that wants to blossom. And we also, talk about the healing journey. We also give you I give you a lot of tools for making it through this time. And we really have a beautiful community online. That's my favorite part about being in this class is I get to be with all these beautiful souls, my flight crew, my cadets. And I'm a cadet too.
Yeah.
Because I'm channeling it from my higher self. I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen today.
Right. Everybody's in class together. Right?
We're all in class together. And you can find it at tinyurl.com/Riding the Wings of Joy. You can register there. It's $333 for the 8 weeks. So it's about $40 a week. And it's just a blast. I'm having so much fun, and I just love the people.
You might want to put the links on my page on the live. And
I will.
And then on YouTube, Soulogy One Studios channel. It's live there too. Yeah, you might want to do that. All right.
Tell me, so I can go to YouTube and put a link, or do you need to put it there?
No, you can do it in the comments. Just put it in the comments. Put it in because people that'll watch it, more people watch the replays, and they'll see the comment, and it'll be there. So,
sounds good. You can find me here on Facebook, Sarah Adams Healing. You can find my website at sarahhopeadams.com. Hope is my middle name. Isn't that interesting? Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Until the next time. Maybe later this year we can reconnect and see what's happening as we approach December, because it's going to be huge.
December is the massive die-off.
It's going to be huge.
And as it all dies off, everything we came to bring will go forth with way less impediments. So it's going to be amazing.
Golden child energy. All blessings. All blessings to you. You take care. We'll be back in 47 minutes with Alina Sanchez. Thank you, Sarah Adams.
Bye, sweetie.
Todd Medina, Soulogy One Studios. What's going on here? Democracies, aristocracies, oligarchies, monarchies, hierarchies, presidents and popes. What's the real dope? What's this all about? Faith, hope, doubt? That's all that earth stuff, man. I am a multi-dimensional, high-vibrational, evolutionary being, and I'm tired of hiding it. I am soul. I don't care who or what tried or is trying to deceive us. Call it the devil or another's Messiah, prophet, or God. It's all the same to me. Whoever they are, they can never take our souls, and that's when we came here to learn. From the burn of being wrong, denying who we are, taking orders, lawless laws, a branded existence, but not anymore. I am divinity. Yeah. All right. The power we hold to mold the future, heavenly nirvana. From the inside, present, eternal. It's time to be a bolder flame. The game isn't the same. We are the spirit science synthesis, the action of conscious thought, alignment, transmuting to a living wisdom. Yeah. No longer dreaming the life, I am living the dream.